Hey everybody, I'm John Everts from California Leasing, and welcome to Meet My Team. Now, this is where we talk to experienced, knowledgeable real estate agents about the team that supports them in a transaction. And I have with me Mary Ness. How are you?
I'm doing really good.
And I've known you for a while. You've been doing real estate for a while. You're very experienced. So I'm excited to hear from your point of view. When someone hires you, they're not getting just you, right?
Nope, they are not.
So tell us about this concept of a team, because that's really what it is.
Well, real estate nowadays is extremely sophisticated, and not one single person can take care of everything that needs to be done. I would say that one thing that I consider extremely important is the risk management team. Why? Because every single month or every few months we have new forms, new rules,
you're right.
New regulations, and because the change is so constant, if you don't have someone that does that, only that the entire focus is learning what needs to be done, what kind of documentation, what kind of disclosure, how do you explain that to your buyer or to your seller to protect them? If you don't have that person as a full-time job, it's very common that you're going to make a mistake.
You're not talking about risk management, your risk. You're talking about your client's risk.
Exactly. And I work with a team that has someone that's what they do. That's full-time job.
That's crazy.
You know, they're constantly meeting with CAR attorneys, for example.
Right.
And getting more details, more explanation, because my objective is not only to sell a house, but to protect my client.
Right.
I would hate for them to get a phone call after the close of escrow with a problem. You know, once
it feels like at close of escrow, it feels like you're done, but really there's still this huge period of time where there's exposure.
Exactly. The laws nowadays, you know, are not black and white. And sometimes even there is 2 or 3 or 5 documents that explain the same thing in different ways.
It does feel like
right?
Feel like, You're like, why is this in here 5 different times?
Exactly.
I already signed this, didn't I?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of realtors that do not have that person in their background helping them understand, to be able to translate to the clients, you know, sometimes they could miss a step.
Totally.
You know, and I'm so thankful that we have that person on our team.
Okay, so risk management, and then what else? I hadn't even thought of that one. I have a list of what goes on a real estate agent's team. I'm going to add that.
Yeah, I consider that one of the most important.
That's a pretty important one.
Yeah. I think another thing too is that as soon as we open a transaction, you know, my trusted lender, for example, let's say I'm representing the seller and I have an offer that comes in my seller's house, I don't trust that offer 100% until I verify the buyer's pre-qualification with my trusted lender. Why? Because a lot of lenders may not do their due diligence. They say, hey, apparently you can get a loan, so let's go ahead and give you the letter.
Right. Let's get into escrow and we'll find out if you qualify or not.
Exactly. I would hate for my client, my seller, to lose an opportunity to get a gold buyer and close on time. And I'm dealing with someone here that, you know, is giving me trouble to escrow. It's not the buyer's fault.
Right.
He trusted his lender.
Right.
So what I like to do, I like to double check that with my trusted lender, because I want my seller to be 100% comfortable that when we enter escrow, we're going to close. Of course, it is never 100%. It's impossible.
But as close to 100% as you can get.
Exactly. I want to cover all my bases, check all the boxes, make sure that we are doing what needs to be done.
That's a really good one. I actually really like that one. And I think a lot of agents don't do it because it's not super comfortable to do that.
That's right.
And you have to have a lender that's willing to do that for you. Because, you know, it's effort for them to do that, you know, and they don't all want to do that for free. But if you have a relationship with a lender that you've been doing business with for a long time, That's a super valuable team member for your
Exactly,
client.
because he's not going to get the loan. He's not,
Right.
he's not
Right.
getting paid for that, but he is putting effort into getting transparency. And that's all I want. I want transparency.
Right.
So my seller will have peace of mind.
All right, give us one more. I know you could give us 20, but
Yeah.
give us one more.
I think the home inspector, of course, is extremely important.
Okay.
And did you know that to get a home inspector license, all you have to do is to pass a, 10-hour test? It's a very little
I think it's online
education.
too, right?
Yeah, you don't have to be a contractor. You don't have to understand anything about the house or building or plumbing or electrical. You just study a little bit online.
Yeah.
So imagine the number of home inspectors out there that don't know what they are doing.
Right. It actually is an industry. I hate to say this because I don't love excessive regulation, but it is an industry that needs a little more checks and balances.
Right, because I have dealt with so many inspectors that have made mistakes. I mean, obvious things that I knew it was correct and they said it was not, cause huge problems.
Yep.
So working with a trusted home inspector that has a track record, that understands building, construction, that have been in the business for a while, it's extremely important. I want my client to know absolutely everything they need to know about the house they're buying, to make the right decision. But I don't want them to receive information that is wrong.
Right. Or no information.
Yes.
It's just I couldn't see this area. I looked at this, but you should really have a roofer look at it. I looked at this, but you should really have an electrician look at it. Like you want something in that inspection.
Yeah, and it's more than that. It's people that actually don't know what they're looking at.
Right.
And then they call it something that is wrong.
Right.
And what happens is if that happens, my client's going to have to spend more money hiring more contractors to go over all of those items in the home inspection that are not correct. So my client's going to incur not only stress, but extra cost.
Real cash. And that's one of those areas that could definitely go on after the close of escrow if it's not done correctly. I mean, we could do this all day, you know what I mean? But I appreciate those three, and maybe we'll have you back and do some more, but hopefully, clients can see that when you hire a real estate agent, there is real value in the quality of the team that they have spent years or decades developing and networking with and maintaining these relationships.
That's
and
true.
I know you have a good team. I know you have a good team.
I'm very happy, very glad, satisfied with my team.
Good. I'm sure your clients benefit from that greatly. So
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you for doing this with us. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Meet My Team.